Hey there, everybody. Good to see you back. This is Fossil Games you're watching, and Fossilfelde. This is episode 6, I believe. Doesn't our little town just look great? Super peaceful, developing really nice, right? Looking for fantastic. Nothing here could put a damper on. Oh my God! Ah, this is the result from the massive earthquake that ripped through our town at the end of episode 5. And pretty much this episode is going to be dealing with the after effects of that and looking at how we can sort of integrate this huge gash right through our town into the story of the town and into sort of building it up. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started with that. Now, when we get out of cinematic mode, we can see. Uh, oh boy, yeah, we can see how much of a disaster this really was. Um, lots of buildings taken down, lots of fires all over the place. Let me see real quick. Where is our fire? Um, Firehouse. Okay, so we got 3 fire engines. They're all in use right now. We got more than 3 fires. So what I'm gonna do, at the very least temporarily, I'm gonna bump up my fire budget to 100%. Make sure we get all those fires out. And then if I remember, then we're gonna try to bump it back down again uh, after this is all cleaned up. Um, one of the first, um, that's a one-way road. One of the first main things to take care of as soon as a disaster is over is to repair your roads so that vehicles can continue moving. You can see I've already gotten a bit of a backup here. I'm not sure why though, but if I upgrade this road, it wants to take out these houses. We're gonna lose more people that way. That's annoying. But, I mean, I guess they'll respawn, right? Just have to bite the bullet and do it. Let's reconnect that there. I think our next step is to take a look at water. All right, I can see I got a little bit of water trouble over here. Over here, we're hooked up perfectly fine, right? Everything's fine there. The only break happened in right over the top of the sort of canyon that formed, right? So we're gonna hook it up from this end just because, like, I am gonna reconnect that road over there. I'm just gonna do like a nice little bridge, but I want to reconnect it from that end because in real life you probably wouldn't have like a water pipe running right through, running underground beneath such a huge canyon, right? And I like to keep my pipes realistic. So that being said, let's go ahead. Oh, first let's repair all these roads. These are not looking good. Does it cost money to repair these? Ooh, yeah, it does. Cost 200 credits, huh? Well, not the best, but also not the worst. And we got some money saved up, so this disaster, thankfully, is not going to bankrupt us. That's for sure. Yep, I think that's about it, right? Want a nice level crossing right over that canyon. I mean, it's at a bit of a slope, but I think I like that. Like, because even before the earthquake, I think that road was still at a bit of a slope like that, and it's not like so extreme that you know, it's weird for cars to go over the top of it, right? So I think that works. We're gonna leave that like that. What is this building that? Oh, one of our electrical outlets, huh? Output buildings. Well, that's a shame. Um, what are we at with our electricity budget? We're at 90. Okay, let me make sure there shouldn't be any major breaks. Like I don't think any of our power lines really got destroyed or anything like that. Ooh, get rid of all these. Okay, see, this disaster is actually doing something good. It's reminding us to check on our power line placement, get rid of those ones that are just a little bit unnecessary. I'll do this for now, but those are gonna have to go eventually because they're just gonna be an eyesore as we start to build our park in and around there. And then yeah, we're gonna want to bump up our electrical budget to 100. I mean, we've got 2 coal power plants, right? So we should be okay for now. And we don't have access to oil just yet. That might be at the next milestone. Okay, so we're looking pretty decent at this point. One thing that I really want to add, especially since we've had all these collapsed buildings and everything, one thing that's really important to add, probably the first thing that's important to add from the disaster buildings, is this disaster response unit, right? Because they'll automatically set up those buildings so that they can be rebuilt. They'll check for survivors in those buildings, and then they'll be able to rebuild. So I think I'm actually going to put that down right here. Yeah, I like that there. Now, right now it looks really big and imposing on that side of things, but my plan essentially is to turn this into a bit of a commercial area, right? And this sort of mixed with this park and this commercial area is going to be sort of the center of town in this whole area right here. And so I think once we have, I see this as sort of our first like major government building, right? And you're not going to you're not going to have like a government building somewhere off in the corner of the map. You're going to have it right downtown, right? Even though you have the helicopters and stuff there, I still think it looks much more realistic to have that, especially because of the size of this building, right? To have that right here in the middle. So we're going to stick that there. And then when we run the game, they're going to send out vehicles and helicopters to come and search these ruins for survivors and get them ready to be rebuilt. So that is sort of the big first thing to take care of there. And I would like to also point out that the biggest reason that we didn't put down any shelters or a radio mast, and the biggest reason I'm still not doing it, is because those are virtually useless if you can't detect the disasters before they hit. For those emergency shelters to actually start evacuating people, it takes a couple of minutes, and so it's virtually, it would have been useless in the case of this earthquake, and it's just sort of a waste of money at this point. So even now, even after we've had this big disaster, I'm still going to hold off on building those until a little bit later. I can see we got some fairly strong residential demand. So I'm going to start filling that out back here. Wherever I can, sort of in this area. And here we basically want to end the city over here, right? This is going to be sort of, at least for now, right? Obviously, eventually we're going to expand and this will have to change. But at least for now, to sort of keep things coherent and feel like there's a real continuity to things, and this is, in some ways, a complete city, albeit a small one. Right? We want to have some sort of edge to things. We don't want to just have it all of a sudden drop off into nothing. And I found like a fairly decent way to do that is just to create a couple of like cul-de-sacs, dead-end roads that curve off, that really break up the any kind of grid feeling, right? And then just have sort of sporadic housing spread out through those. You know what? I'm going to get rid of that. Maybe I'll keep this little corner of industrial right there. And then we'll keep that commercial. you know, sort of the idea over here with these industrial buildings, I think we talked about this last episode, but just to sort of restate it, is to sort of make it clear that this little pocket of the town is sort of like the lower end um, part of town, and there's going to be more health issues there. We might even section this off into a separate district at some point. Want to check to make sure that we have a post office and that's functioning well, right? Because that was in our last uh, milestone that we reached. Garbage is still looking good. Okay, I think we can run this now and watch ourselves recover from this disaster. And then while we're recovering, I think we can finally start to really get to work on our park now, right? Because essentially all we did was just put down um, some gates and a tiny little bit of a path. Here, now you see we already got one of these disaster helicopters coming down to search for survivors in this little ruined building over here. Hopefully they find somebody. Oh, we got another one going out. You can see the shadow. All right, so see, that's kind of an important one to have. You can demolish all of these by hand, but you know, what's the fun in that? We have this building for a reason, right? So we want to keep it there. Uh-oh. Okay, and this is a disaster response vehicle, right? They work just like the helicopters, but in a car. So that's an industrial building that burned down. They're searching it for survivors. Let's actually check on this. Oh, we can't see the stats from... Huh, wonder why. I was hoping we could see the stats from that earthquake and see how many people were killed. Maybe we could see it before we quit. I'm not sure. Police cars in use 3 out of 3. Okay, so we need to bump up our police budget. Let's see, where is that? Okay. Let's lower down all these things that we're not even using right now. I'm even tempted to lower down the parks. Even though we already have them running at 100. I'm going to leave it there for now. We got the money. And those are essentially just going to help us get more money, right? Taxis, we don't really even have that right now, but we want to make sure that even if we do put that down, we're not running on full throttle with those. Where's the post office again? I lost it. Uh-oh. Post office, where are you? It's right here. Okay, so we got 10 out of 10 vans in use. They're covering the whole city from just that one little post office, so we can keep that up at 100%. And now you can see these buildings are starting to rebuild themselves. Oh, that's a park side gate. So there's any kind of unique buildings, so buildings that aren't actually growable, they will be searched for survivors, but then you actually have to rebuild them yourself by going and clicking on them. So same thing with this wind turbine. We can just get that back up and running. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay, they're ready to be rebuilt. Okay, so there we are. We've completely recovered now, which in my mind at least means we could probably bring down this budget again. Where were we at? I think we were at 50. No, we must have been at 60, sorry. So let's keep it at 70 now, right? Keeps us a little bit more prepared than before, but not too over the top either. And I just want to check real quick, make sure there was no influx of patients here. We're still okay. I think we can still handle the flow of sick people coming from this area. But now we got a garbage complaint. We can see all our garbage trucks are in use. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying so hard to get to building this park over here. Okay. All right. Now we should be able to handle everything. Let's work on the park. Okay. Now, this might seem a little bit crazy. I want to do something cool here. Let me see. Let me see if I can find what it is that I'm looking for. I'm going to take this fresh water outlet. And I believe if I put that down right here at the edge of the big gash that this created. I might actually even want to put it a little bit deeper in here. All right, I'm going to stick it in there. And then this is going to be, since we're playing on vanilla here, right, this is going to be a little bit tricky to get just right. But essentially, I want to create a little river that comes through here. And maybe even I want to see what the water does when it flows out naturally down here at the bottom. It's possible that we'll have to do a little bit of terraforming to actually create sort of our little own in-town mini stream, right, out of the earthquake canyon. I believe. I'm not sure what's going to happen if I just hook that up to our existing water system. Let's give it a try. A little bit of experimentation, right? Never did anybody any harm. I just, the thing is, I don't know if it's going to come out with contaminated water or if it's just going to take good fresh water. So we'll have to watch on that. Make sure things don't flood here. The water in this game could be a little bit tricky, but I think we can get this to work. That is the plan, anyway. Okay, and then what I would like to do is to take this and I want to create a bridge here, but you know what? I don't want to use that park path. I actually want to use the dirt path that already comes with the game. And you can see why here. It just comes, the bridge version of this path is just, it's beautiful. Look at that. Look how great that is. It's got this really nice feel to it. So we're gonna bring that up and over. Right, so then if you're visiting the park, you can come out and stand on that bridge, and it looks fantastic. Right? Okay, water flow is doing good. It's actually looking pretty decent so far. Hasn't quite gotten to the edge of this gash, but this is a bit of an experiment, guys. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that thing. I know in theory it should work, but we got to monitor it a little bit carefully. Let's bump up garbage a little bit more. Make sure we got enough garbage trucks coming out. Oh, and it's turning into night. That's going to make it harder to see exactly what's happening. You know what? I think we just got to leave it and see what happens. Okay. Doesn't look like there's any pollution coming out of it, so I'm pretty sure that is just fresh, clean water being pumped out of there. That's good news. Happy about that. And we still got plenty of water supply to the city and everything, so... Okay. So this is looking pretty good. What do we got going on over here? We got lots of sick people. Uh-oh. Oh, no. And we forgot pipes over here. Oh, this is a disaster. Not a disaster. I'm kidding. We're going to be fine. Okay, so if we actually have people complaining about being sick, yeah, we may have to rethink. Darn it, where is the clinic again? I keep losing the clinic, guys. Did I put it? I put it back here, didn't I? There's the clinic. Okay, so we don't have enough ambulances, so why don't we try to, just for now, why don't we try to increase the number of ambulances we got going on and see if that solves the problem, because I think we got enough capacity to house all of the patients. Why are we having so many trash problems all of a sudden? Wow, this usually happens very gradually, but for some reason, this playthrough, we just got trash problems piling up very quickly. Okay. So then you can also see sort of from an overhead, there's a little bit of a natural end to the city over in this direction. Okay, let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit so we can get through the night. Let's see. I want to create a few more residential areas here. So I think more or less, essentially going for a grid here is going to be just fine. And then we can sort of curve some of these inner streets as needed. We also have more industrial demand, so I'm thinking it's probably... Ooh, no, that's gross. That was gross, wasn't that gross? I think that was gross. Let's change that for a second. We're going to lose water for just a split second, and restored. So we're going to fill this in with a bit of residential, and then in order to fulfill my industrial demand, thinking I'm going to have to buy another tile. Buy our first new tile. In other words, our second tile. By the way, I know that this is kind of a random day to be uploading a Fossilfelde episode, but I wanted to, I was excited to sort of, I was excited to sort of deal with this earthquake, with the outcome of this earthquake. So I figured I'd just dive into it today, and then maybe we can have two Fossilfelde episodes this week. I'm not sure if those trees are going to die by themselves, being so heavily submersed in the water. I'm going to leave it for a little bit, see what happens. If we need to, we can go through and delete these trees and make it a little bit more realistic, but I would like to see if the game's mechanics actually sort of do something with them, because that would be sort of cool, right? To have them sort of naturally die out from being submerged in so much water, right? And then over here, we can sort of hide this water outlet. Where am I looking? I need rocks. Somebody give me some rocks. Don't worry, we'll put a few trees around it as well. I know this is going to take out a few of those trees, but I think this adds a little bit of something, having those rocks there. And then kind of go a little bit crazy with these. Love these things. And we can stick in some trees. Okay, well, because of the way I actually place this, it's going to be hard to really completely hide it, especially from an overhead point of view. But I still think we placed it right in terms of making sure that the water flow is correct. Ooh, and we're like right on the edge here, flooding some of these houses, huh? Okay, the water is flowing out. It's just, it's a little bit slow. I wonder if we have, I don't think I have access yet to, there's a building somewhere. Yeah, I don't think I have it yet. There's a building somewhere that it's this. There's a building. This building, the pumping service sends out trucks to pump water off the streets wherever there's been some flooding and things like that. So we can use that a little bit later if we need to keep things in check. Okay. Now we can take this, start to build out some of our pathways in this park. And what I'd like to do is actually try to avoid taking out as many trees as possible. Why is this giving me a hard time? I would like to try to avoid taking out as many trees as possible to sort of give it a, um, yeah, more of a natural look, I guess, and see if we can't, yeah, curve the path around the existing trees. And that makes the nature just that much more nature-y, right? Makes it feel like the park was built slightly more organically, I suppose. Uh-huh. A little bit tricky though, and we're definitely still gonna lose some trees. But you know what? When it comes to creating any kind of realism, um, you know, it's that extra little bit of effort that I think really counts. Okay, so here we're definitely gonna lose a few trees. Got a little bit thick in there for us. Okay, but I think here we can sneak that in without losing any. And then look at this. Pretty much come right in here, hook up with that. Boom. Okay, we got ourselves a nice, that sort of represents the main sort of winding path through the park, right? I think this we can connect up basically just in a straight line, lose a few trees there. That's connected, and then we had another side fence through here. Let's see if we can't snake this one through here a little bit. Oh, darn it. That wasn't good enough. Okay. I lost that big tree. Oh well. I don't want to spend forever on it, but... Oh, come on. I want to come through here, but without taking out all of these trees. Why is that being such a pain in the butt? Whenever I try to build a straight path... Okay. Whoa, okay, got that right around that tree right here. I'm happy with that. Okay, take out a couple of these smaller ones and hook it up right there. Fantastic. Love it. We don't have a gate over here, but that's all right. That's a bit of an awkward pit, isn't it? I wonder, I feel like we should try to do something with that. Okay, is there a, am I mistaken, or is there like a cave in this rock? There is. Okay, I feel like I need some sort of path that gives us access up there then. And I think for that I'm going to come through and go with just our little dirt path. Yeah, okay, I can't actually create it right on top of there, but I can start it from here. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay. Let's try to sneak that through here best I can. And then we'll come straight through there with it like that. But I'm wondering, maybe without actually even putting up an official gate, right? Maybe we have some kind of little dirt path that comes through here. that you know, the idea being that this is something that people have just sort of created on their own, right? Maybe even not everybody in town knows about it. It's just sort of one of those things. A few people went trudging through the wilderness back here in an effort to get to the cave faster, and over time they created a bit of a path. That's sort of the idea anyway. It's kind of getting hard to see now. Oh boy. Okay. I think that'll have to do for now. I think there's a pretty steep climb there, but that actually works. Well, first of all, it's not too bad, but even if it was, I think it would work because it's like the principle is sort of, you know, whoever's built that path, they did it because they're probably young guys looking to get up there in that cave and cause a little bit of mischief, right? And so they're going to be willing to climb up steep banks that other people might not. So I like that. I think that's actually cool. And maybe that's why it's also not used by everyone in town, or, you know, maybe even people they do know about it, but they don't really want to use it because it's a little bit steeper and harder to get up there. Oh boy, it is hard to see anything at night, isn't it? I might have to disable the day-night cycle for these videos. I don't usually do that for myself. I like the chance of being able to see the city at night sometimes, and I feel like the day-night cycle is a nice natural way to do that. So I try to leave it on, but it's getting a little bit tricky here. Okay, we're going to bump up our medical budget a little bit more. We are still using a lot of ambulances, but the thing is, now our capacity is getting pretty full over there. So I might have to scale back some of the residential in this area to get it away from a little bit of that industry. Okay. I think we're going to end this episode pretty soon here. And we'll continue with our park on the next one. Let's just wait for the daylight to come up. And in the meantime, we can get a little housing expansion going over here. Don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. I think I'd actually rather have this go out straight for a little ways, and then curve this up into that. I think that's actually a little bit cooler. Oh, and it doesn't take out our electricity. Bonus! Okay. Let's get in these extra pipes. Just need a little bit here to cover this extra ground. And we can put in cover all of that, and then here we'll do it a little bit more sporadic as we get closer to the river's edge. Okay, cool. So wow, it's actually not even flowing all the way down there. This is better than I could possibly have hoped. This turned out fantastic. It looks like the trees, though, it looks like we're going to have to get rid of the trees manually. And these over here are sort of dying because this earth here is getting too wet for them. Weird though that those would have those effect on these trees, but not the ones actually in the water, right? All right, well, no worries. You know what we're gonna do next episode? We're gonna take out these trees from within the water. We're gonna put a few more rocks around the edges, do a little bit more detailing, and we're definitely going to wrap up this this park that we started building. Maybe a couple more pathways, but more actually diving into the park DLC buildings that will help us level up the park. And yeah, maybe we put in a couple more dirt pathways, right? Thinking they're just sort of paths that people created by walking through here. Stuff like that. Yeah. Think things are looking good. So yeah, episode 7, we're going to focus on that park and try to reach the next milestone. We're getting there. We're getting there. We might expand this way to add on to our industry a little bit. Um, or we could even create more of an industrial zone down here. That's something to think about. Even though that would take us far away from the highway and would have trucks rumbling through here. Probably not the best idea. But let's think about it. All right, thank you for joining me, guys. And I will see you, I believe, on... Yeah, I think I usually do Fossilfelde episodes on Saturday. So I'll see you guys on Saturday for another one, for number 7. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like it, click subscribe. Hit the like button because you're awesome. And I will talk to you later. Chill.